all errors/mistakes in Five Nights at Freddy's 1 through 7. Before I start this video, I just want to say that these are very small errors, and I'm not trying to trash on the games or say they're bad in any way. I love these games, and I just find it very interesting to see a few mistakes that I never noticed during my first time playing the game. I also just want to say right now that I'm getting all this information on this Wikipedia page, so I'll have it linked down below if you want to see it for yourself. Anyways, with that, enjoy the video, guys. Five Nights at Freddy's 1. In the Steam art cover of Five Nights at Freddy's 1, Freddy's jaw actually clips through his bow tie. Also, in the first shot of the game's trailer where we see them performing on stage, Freddy's endoskeleton hand is actually clipping through his palm. Also, in the game trailer, we can see Freddy's jaw clipping through his bow tie in this scene right here. Also, at the part where Bonnie is running down the hallway, we can see Bonnie's forehead just clips through these stars that are hanging from the ceiling. Also, Bonnie's ears clip through the camera on this shot of the trailer, which is pretty funny because this is like the HUD of the camera, so I guess it's a real physical object. Then in Foxy's jump scare, his right eye actually clips through part of the door frame, and also during Foxy's jump scare, his teeth turn from golden to white. In this poster on the wall, we can see that the word pizzeria was actually misspelled. Also, the word surveillance is misspelled here. On the Celebrate poster, Bonnie slightly hovers above the stage, which is just hard for me to unsee now. And finally, for Five Nights at Freddy's 1, Golden Freddy has the same handprint that the original Freddy has. But I'm not sure if this is a mistake, it could have been a design decision from Scott. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. In the teaser for Toy Bonnie, he does not have his right arm. When looking at Withered Chica from certain angles, we can see that she actually does not have the inside of her textured, and the neck of her endoskeleton is not connected to anything. On this camera, we can see Toy Chica's waist clipping through her shorts, and here we can see Toy Chica's left leg clipping through the air vent, and her left upper arm clipping through her waist. When Foxy's in the parts and service room, Foxy's endoskeleton waist area isn't connected to his legs. When Foxy's in the parts and service room, his waist actually isn't connected to his legs at all. Mangle's lighting does not fit the rooms that she's in on the cameras. Mangle's second endoskeleton also clips through his ear, right here and here, and her head also clips through the right air vent as seen here. At the end of Withered Bonnie's jump scare, everything stops, but you can see his thumb slightly move forward. Withered Freddy's microphone clips through his hand when in the office. Also, his shoulder right here is clipping through his upper arm. This one a lot of people might have noticed. So Withered Foxy's jump scare is made to look like he is leaping out of the hallway, but if you're looking to the right or left, it actually appears that Foxy is just jumping through the walls. We can also see this with the puppet and Golden Freddy's jump scare. The first frame of Toy Bonnie's jump scare, he has his knees and thighs just clipping straight through his stomach. Withered Bonnie's custom night mugshot has the bow tie clipping through his jaw. This one I also can't unsee, it's just very clear. Balloon Boy also has these black buttons when he's in the left air vent, which I never noticed before. Also, Golden Freddy and Withered Freddy have wires that are clipping through their feet. Here's another interesting one I never thought of before. This mysterious liquid on the floor in Party Room 2 remains there for the entire week, never to be cleaned up, which doesn't really make sense. Here's another one I didn't notice. The phone guy states that you're working a summer job, even though the paycheck at the end of the job says November. And we know these messages aren't pre-recorded because Phone Guy informs us of what's happening to the location in real time. And then finally for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, there is no visible kitchen in this pizzeria. Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Okay, this first one on this list I actually have thought about for a really long time. The first one is basically how the purple guy's corpse would be completely decayed by now, as we know he was left in the Springtrap suit for a very long time. Next up is on cam 11 and 14, we see Springtrap's right arm clipping through the vent, and on cam 15 we see his left arm clipping through the vent wall. On this rare screen we get of Springtrap, we can see that his left arm is clipping into itself right here. And on the third rare screen, Springtrap's hand clips through his ear. On cam 7, in the first position Springtrap can be in, we see his entire right half clipping into the wall. On Phantom Chica, the Let's Eat bib texture is actually flipped, and on the Phantom Chica jump scare there's also a few errors, such as her left shoulder clipping with the rest of the arm, and also her left arm kind of does this twitching thing. I don't know how to explain it, so I'll just have it up on screen. Then we have Phantom Foxy, who has red wires that aren't connected to anything on his head, and also the fact that Phantom Foxy is hovering in the office before lunging, But the wiki does state here that because they're phantoms, they don't really need to obey the laws of physics, which I agree, but I still think these were mistakes in the game. And then finally for FNAF 3, and Phantom Freddy's jump scare, we can see that his left eye is kind of out of sync with the rest of the jump scare. I'll have it up on screen as well because you kind of have to just see it yourself. Five Nights at Freddy's 4. In the first frame of Nightmare Bonnie's jump scare, his left hand is actually clipping through the door. Also on the last frame of Nightmare Bonnie's jump scare, his left pupil goes kind of unaligned with the rest of his eye. Nightmare Balloon Boy's jaw also clips under his shirt when he's on the chair, which this one is really obvious to me now. And also in Nightmare Balloon Boy's jump scare, there's a few errors, such as his thighs clipping through each other, his right thumb clipping through his other fingers, and his teeth clipping in and out. You can also see Nightmare Balloon Boy's nose through his eye socket when he sits on the X, but I'm actually not sure if this one was a mistake or not. Then we have Nightmare Bonnie's extra pose has a floating wire. Next up is that Nightmare Chica's jump scare sound is wrong in the extras menu, as it shares the same as Plush Traps, even though it doesn't in the actual game. Next up is a really hard one to see. Chica's lower jaw clips through her body when she's kind of retreating around the corner. I don't even know what this one is talking about, so I'm just gonna read it straight up off the wiki. It says the black thing that goes beyond Nightmare Foxy's black things that go beyond Nightmare Foxy's nose clip through the metal rings on his nuzzle. This is best seen in his closet pose. On Plush Trap's jump scare, we can see his endoskeleton clipping through his hands. In Nightmare Freddy's bedroom jump scare, his eyes actually spin, and this doesn't happen with the other animatronics. But this could be on purpose, I'm not sure about this one. Then also on Nightmare Freddy's jump scare, this time on the bed, it reveals that part of the table isn't even modeled in and the lamp is floating in midair. And then finally for Five Nights at Freddy's 4, the bully's jump scare in the cutscenes changes slightly between the final cutscene and the other ones, and people have actually used this to create theories, but I'm guessing this was just a slight mistake. Next up is Five Nights at Freddy's sister location, and there's only one error listed here. In Michael's cutscene, at the end of Five Nights at Freddy's sister location, you can clearly see Springtrap's hand before he's meant to come out. Then for Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator, there's only two. The first one is about Scraptrap and how he basically has bone, ears, nose, and lips. If you guys want to hear more about this, you can go check out this video here. It was a really entertaining video to watch. And then this one, I don't really consider an error, but it basically just goes into the extremely blocky style of withering that has gone onto the suits, which was also present in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, so I'm pretty sure it was just a design decision from Scott, but I'm not entirely sure on that one. And then finally, Ultimate Custom Night, where there's 4 errors listed. The first one is basically how Toy Chica can attack you from either side, which means her sprite will flip, and you can tell that the Let's Eat thing on her bib is flipped, but this error was actually patched out of the game. The next is that on Mangle's jump scare, Mangle actually has no endoskeleton jaw, which I did not notice before, but this one I can just not unsee anymore. Then Balloon Boy's button lighting issues continue, the ones that I mentioned in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And finally, Nightmare Freddy's mechanic description refers to Nightmare Freddy as just Freddy. Anyways guys, this is all the errors that were listed on the wiki. I'll link down below to where I read all this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and comment down below which type of videos you would like to see next, and I'll see you guys in the next video.